Hello, my name's Lucy Cloro and welcome to my pitch on a British film idea called A Demon's Deal. Okay, so this is a poster I've created on my film. I took my inspiration from Demon's Baby movie, which is also another British horror film. I liked the design because I felt that it was very emotional impact on the audience, especially because there was a main subject of the picture, which in this case is the demon's face. I quite like the font that was used because it was quite a simple font, yet stood out quite well. And I have taken inspiration from the storyline also of a demon's baby because it follows the story of a pregnancy. However, I follow the story of a child, which is quite close to each other. So this is my treatment. The title of my film will be A Demon's Deal, which is also the working title. However, I quite like it, so it might stay. The running time of my film will be 90 to 100 minutes. This is the average time, approximately 2 hours, just under, for a normal horror film. The genre of my film, I've chosen horror, mystery, sci-fi, just because it's got elements of demons, it's got elements of horror, and it's got elements of mystery, because all about craziness, yeah. I've decided that the final piece will have a white grey colour design because I feel that that will show the horror of it well, and it'd be quite visually effective. And I will use props to help the sci-fi elements because editing will not look realistic enough. Therefore, if I use props, then do my own stunts, it would look more creative. The location is mainly in a manor in the countryside, of the British countryside, to make it feel more British film. And it'll have 3 different acts using Todorow's theory. However, mine are in the different order to the normal sequence of Todorow's theory. Mine will be non-linear, meaning that it will use flashbacks and flash forwards, creating the equilibrium and the resolution in different orders. Okay, so my first act will be growing up. This will have a flash forward to the resolution, so the mum is having a bad dream about what's going to happen in the future, about her having a fight with her daughter and her being overtaken by a demon. She's had a bad dream about it, and she watches the resolution turn into the equilibrium. And this is also when the deal is made with the father about her not being able to have a child, so the father makes a deal with the demon that he'll give his soul to the demon in 10 years' time for them to be able to have their own child. And then we start watching the child grow up through time. Okay, Act 2 will be the coming out, so this is when the whole deal is like let loose, the daughter finds out, the child's a bit older, so she learns about the deal and becomes terminally ill, which means that she's sick and she can't be helped. So when the father dies in 10 years' time from when she's born and his soul is taken from the demon, the mother tries to make another deal with the demon to save her daughter because she wants her to live on, and the mother feels that she's not important enough for her life to be overruled by her daughter's. So her daughter finds her powers because she's become angry at the fact that the demon's taking away her whole family. So when she becomes angry, she then finds out that she has powers because not only has she found out that she's not her father's daughter, she's actually a demon's daughter because she was created by the demon and implanted in the mother's stomach womb. Okay, next is Act 3, which is winning. This is when the daughter actually finally beats the demon and the mother's killed, the father's killed, and she's a bit lonely, but the new equilibrium is actually interrupted because the cliffhanger of the whole movie will be the demon coming back to life after the whole audience thinks he's completely dead, which leads it on to a sequel, hopefully, if the movie becomes popular enough. And yeah. So, the originality of my idea, I feel that because I used lots of different storylines and it has not just got a demon and death, it's got demon, death, love between family, it'll have a bit of romance between a best friend and her, it will look at different elements of the demon aspects, and also because I use 3 different genres of quite a mysteric atmosphere, I feel that that will work well together and create quite a unique, fantastic idea altogether. Okay, so this is the budget of my film. As you can see, we've got a producer, a director, we've got the cast, we've got the crew wages, production design, costume, hair and makeup, director of photography, screenplay writer, sound, and the certification costs, and also the funding for the BBFI. So altogether I think that this is quite an effective budget because it's not only quite cheap, but it uses good casts, which I'll talk about in a minute, which they all have very unique selling points. I got the budget, I got the wages off this website, Salaries, which I found out all of these in a very professional manner. I've got my production schedule, which has got a bit of script writing, it's got the script checking, casting, location searching and production. Then it carries on to more production up until there. Then you have editing and the checking and fixing of the actual production itself. Each person will work about 8 hours a day, depending on the time of day, because obviously if we want to film in the dark, then we'd need to change the time of the day to later in the evening or earlier in the day. We need to make sure that each person was happy with their contract and that it was all going smoothly. But like Working Title, I've decided that my company will have its own people for each different activity. For example, I will have a law department, a music department, and manage any criticism of my own. For instance, if there was criticism about the film in like race or ethnicity or legal issues, then I would use my law department, meaning that I'm an independent company and don't have to look elsewhere for help. So I chose the launch date, the 18th November 2017, because my genre is horror, and this is quite a good time for horror movies to come out, as it gets dark early in the evenings. Therefore the cinemas will be able to play it for longer, because more people will want to watch it in the dark because it'll have a greater impact on them, because when they leave the cinema they'll still feel the kind of atmosphere around them, which I feel that this will get the best benefit of the product through the cinemas, because people will enjoy it more in the evenings. My contingency plan. So if anything goes wrong, I would like this to be consulted. So basically it just states whether, let's say, an SD card goes missing from a camera. Well, if we use different cameras and have lots and back it up straight away, then we won't have the problem of it being lost or damaged and none of our work to be saved. If we have an unusual location, for example, if it's burned down or something, we have different idea of what to do in mind. For example, having a different scene, filming somewhere else to make sure that we actually have each production day certainly working. If there's an actor ill, we have a understudy. If the weather is bad on the day that we're due to be filming, for instance, outside on a sunny day, then we have a contingency plan to go inside and film a different scene. And lastly, if there's battery running low on the camera, bring spare batteries, or basically bring a different camera. So my proposed cast, I'd like Frances Fisher to play my mother. I simply feel that she has a really good unique selling point. She has the perfect the perfect look for my mother, and throughout the years she's been in 40 productions starring in theatre, let alone TV and film. Also, she's used to playing in a motherly character, because she played Rose's mother in the Titanic, which I think was brilliant, and made a really good impact on me as the producer of this film. Okay, I'd like Jason Watkins to play the demon. I feel that he's got a really good manner about him when he's playing evil characters, which he does a lot. He's a British actor, and he was nominated for an award in 2001. And I think he played a good demon because he's played demons before in things like Being Human, and I just felt that he'd probably play a really good character in my movie too. He's also got a unique selling point because he has a lot of audience. He's quite a unique character and a lot of people like him. The father, I'd like Arthur Darvill to play the father. What?
Arthur Darvill.
I'd like Arthur Darvill to play the father because I feel that he's well known to a lot of people, especially British people, because he plays Rory Williams in Doctor Who, which is a very famous programme in the UK. He's also worked in the West End on Broadway, and he's got a really nice bio about how his mum was the one that influenced him into acting, and I feel like he'd be a very nice member to my production, especially the fact that he has a lot of audience, so we will get good ratings there. I'd like the daughter to be Jenny Huxley Golden because I think that she is quite an unknown actor, therefore she might bring in an audience for being new. People might want to have a look and see what she's capable of. However, she's been in MI High, which is on the CBBC channel, and I feel that from that she's a very good actor and she's introduced herself well. So I think she'd be a good daughter because she's used to, because in MI High she was playing a teenage daughter. I also think she'd be able to play carry the character on well into my programme too, film. So when I was researching working title, I learned that they were in collaboration with many well-known actors. So hopefully, if I create a sequel of my film, then I can be in collaboration with the actors from the first film and maybe use them in future films if I carry on. I think this would be a very good benefit to our company, as it means that we'd have a good connection with good actors. The costume for each of my characters is quite unique. For the daughter, I've decided to have a vintage look because I feel that the vintage look would give the sense of uniqueness again. The daughter is quite she's quite unique anyway. She stands out. She doesn't have very many friends, and she feels like the whole world is against her. And I feel that if I use a vintage outfit there, it's quite messy. So therefore, it's like she doesn't even know how to fit into her clothes, let alone the world and society. And the mother, I've decided a quite casual kind of look for the mother because she's got casual like jeans, baggy t-shirt, just a casual mother look, and I think this is the best look because it's plain and it just shows that she really is a mother of the nowadays, and she wants to wear what she wants. Father. So I felt the father should wear working clothes because he's the working person in the group. He also wears quite plain clothes like the mother, which makes him look a bit less important, a bit less unique. However, his whole world has turned upside down. And finally, the demon. I've decided the demon should wear a black cape. This is a stereotypical look for a demon, for some sort of devil, and it just makes him look mysterious and unknown. Okay, so my target audience. I've decided that my target audience will be around 18 to 25-year-olds. I think this is a good age because it's a more mature audience for the horror genre that I'd like to use, whereas for a younger audience it might disturb them, and older audience they won't enjoy it because it can be quite over the top. I also think that I'd also like the target audience to be white males of a atheist religion, because it relates to God and death and society quite a lot. Therefore, an atheist really will enjoy it, whereas Christians might get a bit offended or something like that. I'd like it to be white and male because I feel that the white males are a lot more into this kind of genre, whereas a female would prefer to watch romance or action or something like that, whereas a male would prefer to have a bit of thriller, a bit of horror, a bit of action around it. Okay, so my storyboards. My pre-production materials. So this is each scene for my trailer, which I'll show you in a minute. I have described with shots, the locations, and the personnel, and how long the shots will be for each shot. My storyboard for the last few shots. So this is my sample script for the 3 key scenes that I'd like to show. So the first key scene is a demon's deal. The location is in the house or bedroom with the mother and father at night, so obviously they'll be asleep in bed. So this is just a vague outline of what I'd like them to get across during this scene. For example, the mother says no, she's having a bad dream, the father wakes up and comforts her, then there's a flash forward going back to the Todorov theory, which I found out in the working title. And next is the demon encounter. This is when the father and the mother are looking out the window, they're all depressed because they can't have a child, and the demon suddenly turns up in a gust of wind and the lights are flashing, and he turns up and asks the father, "If I could help your wife, would you give me your soul in 10 years' time?" Obviously the father's so panicked, so scared, so worried about his wife that he has no other choice but to say yes. Finally, I'd like to use the final scene, which is the cliffhanger, which hasn't got that much text. However, I feel like it's a really important scene due to if I want to put in a sequel onto my film. In this scene, we see the demon for the last time. The audience think he's dead. However, he comes up with the line with, "I have plans for you, little one," giving the audience a sense of thrill and worrying about what's going to happen until they watch the next film, which will give them a bit of a insight into the next film. Different fonts down here, which all of this is in your media pack, so if you can't see it clearly, refer to that please. I chose the third font down, so this one, because I feel that it has quite a symbolic yet creepy meaning to it. So it really stands out to the audience, it's quite a creepy looking style, so therefore it will help introduce the horror element to my target audience. Also, I think it will really make the look appealing to the front cover or to the titles of my film. So this is the font I've used up here. Refer to your media pack, as it's not very clear on here. Front page of your media pack. I like it in black because I feel that if you look at it on paper, which this will be a big poster, I feel that it will really stand out and make the demon character look a lot creepier than if it was just in ordinary white or red or something like that. Design. I've decided that my locations that I'm going to use is a house, a big manor in the middle of the English countryside, and the school classroom, which is where we'll watch the daughter grow up, the demon grow up, watching her. So I feel that these are the best options because it really shows the modern day family style and how people live their lives in an English way. Also gets across the Britishness of my film because it's set in an English countryside manor. So from the working title research that I did, I realised that to make my film British, I'd need to take it through the cultural test, because otherwise how would people know whether it's British, American, Japanese? So according to the test I've taken so far, which my product is obviously not finished, but I have passed the British test, and if you'd like to find out more, please visit this website below. So for my film, I've decided that I quite like to use lots of different shots. I don't want it to be limited to a few shots. I want to really expand the audience mind by creating lots of different angles to what they see. So I use long shots, extreme long shots, I'd use bird's eye view, Dutch angles, close-ups, and I feel that this will bring the best effect to my film. I want the lighting to be dark, dingy lighting, with single lights as spotlights, like lighting up the people's faces. Finally, at the end, I'll edit some colour balance in, which will make it a bit whiter, a bit dingier, a bit kind of scary. And lastly, I'd like the camera movements to be things like tilt, pan, zoom, dilly and truck. So I want all of the dolly to be used in the camera movements, making it more visually effective towards my film. Use sample sounds. Basically, I've taken it from YouTube, so I'd need to ask copyright. I'd need to ask permission to use them, because otherwise I'd be breaking the copyright laws. The first three are quite sad pieces of music. They're quite focusing on the sad time of the daughter's life because she's upset, she doesn't feel like she belongs anywhere. And the last one is when I feel that this should be used in the action scene between the fight of the mother and the daughter, because it brings the best effect to the fight scene. If I just play you one of those. As you can tell, I think this is quite an action-y kind of music. They're about to stand face to face in front of each other and have a complete rage meltdown at each other. I feel like this would be quite a piece of music to get into it. So this is my sample graphics logo. So I will be called Film Files Productions. I feel like this is a good name because it will get simple, easy to remember, and it will get people's attention because it's stood out in bold and red. Yeah. So I've created a small sample footage video for you to watch. It's a small trailer. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you liked my film production idea. Bye!